Hello, my fellow gamers. It's Jay with GXP, and today we are getting into Dragonite workshops. Dragonite workshops are extremely important because they are the base material and resources that you need to be able to create gear. So, I am in Apache Kid right now, and I have 4 workshops. So, let me kind of just run through them real quick. So in the details of the workshops, you can see starts out at level 1, goes all the way up to level 30. What's important to understand is that as you upgrade them, the production consumption, which is gold, decreases in its demand, and the production cap, which is how much Dragonite it produces, increases as you upgrade. Power is not the concern when upgrading the Dragonite workshops. What is the concern is getting, if you can get to level 20, where you're or even 15, level 15 is a 20% decrease in the amount of gold you spend and creates 560 units of Dragonite. That's kind of the starting point where it starts to tip in the other direction of being productive. If you have 4 workshops, they're all level 15, and you're producing, about every 6 to 8 hours, a little bit over 2,000 units of Dragonite, you're starting to produce the amount you need to start to make gear at the higher levels, between purple, oranges, and golds. I'll get into that in a little bit. Right now is just kind of talking about, pre-C25. It's difficult to have these Dragonite workshops at the higher level because when you go to upgrade them, it requires charcoal. And if you're not producing a tremendous amount of charcoal, you're not going to have the resources to do many upgrades. You can buy charcoal, but only from the VIP shop. So that's a $100 investment to get where you can buy charcoal. So really, it's just down to using your lumber workshops, which are right here, your charcoal factories. Anytime they're filled, you can do a rapid, and that rapid produces a certain amount of charcoal, but it's still not a huge amount when you talk just going from a level 12 or 11 to a level 12 is 3.4 million in charcoal. Now, I have found that one of the better ways to get charcoal is in the trade house or the trading house. If you're buying charcoal through here, I get 1.2 million charcoal for food. That's a good deal. That actually now gives me 1.2 plus this 600K. So, it starts to add up quickly. And if you're not spending it, like normally you'll see it where it's for your gold, you'll put a charcoal down, or you'll see some down here. I don't spend charcoal on any of these resources when I am trying to upgrade my Dragonite workshops. So I'll spend all my other resources on gold, most definitely, and I will spend non-essential resources if the percentage is good. Like this is just my L, so I can always spend L because it's one of those things that doesn't cost me a primary resource. Marble, if I'm struggling with my marble, I'm not going to spend marble. If I'm struggling with my iron, I'm not going to spend my iron. But 500K in wood for 165K in marble, that's not horrible. But you have to pick and choose depending on where you are in your upgrades. I try not to spend resources down here. I will definitely spend L, and I will definitely spend gems on discounted speed ups. But I won't spend a lot of resources on speed ups. So here we go again. Boom, boom, boom. And you see, I don't have any charcoal being spent. All of this is really just resources. So I feel comfortable investing in all that. These are just discounted gem purchases. Perfect, perfect. All right. So now I still don't quite have enough to upgrade this to a level 12. And I have a 4, a 5, and a 6. So if I take this 6 and upgrade it, it's still 900K. I do have enough resources for that. So I can go ahead and just knock that out real quick. But it's really not that big of an improvement if we look at, again, the consumption. I'm only getting 230 units, and I only have a decrease in 7%. In J-Dreamer, which is my C28, you can see that I have Dragonite workshops that I've had time to upgrade. So I have, instead of the 4, there are 6. And where you get the 2 others come from technology. And they are down here in the accessory production. And there are a couple things in the accessory production I want to point out. First is this basic refining. It increases Dragonite production speed. So it's on this left-hand side, and there are multiple sets of them. Every time you increase that, it gets faster in its production speed. Once you go into this section and have to go through all of the materials, once you get past that, the expansion of the workshop is it gives you 2 additional workshops. And then after that, you get another expansion of the speed. After you run through another set of material increases, the next major portion of the accessory production that matters is this salvage. When you go into salvaging materials, there are different types of salvaging. All of it basically just means that when you have equipment and you disassemble that equipment, if you don't have these tech skills open, you don't get back the Dragonite that you've put in. So you have material salvaging, you have bulk salvaging, and then you have skilled salvaging, which is basically when you disassemble the equipment, it gives back Dragonite. So getting there is tough, but getting there will help you invest and kind of gamble into lower level gear that will return back Dragonite, so it's just not a complete loss. And with the levels, like I said, in Apache Kid, trying to get to level 15, one of the things that when you get C25 and if you have the VIP shop, you have a rapid function on these. The VIP shop allows your rush production to have a buff or a benefit. So normally if I were to rush something like on this level 15, I'd only get 272 units. But because I have the VIP shop and I have the Dragonite recovery buff activated, it only uses that amount. Now, when you rush it, you can only rush it so many times before you can't rush it anymore. And every time you get less and less. So I don't rush it very often. But with this, the upgrade for a 15, you're looking at 9.2 million charcoal. Now to fill it, so filling it takes 448,000 gold, but you get more Dragonite than the gold you spend. So you're starting to see that transition. So 560 units for 480K in gold. Go into production, boom, boom. Now I have a level 17, so let's fill it. So 460, so even less gold than I spent on the level 15, but I get 640 units. So you can see how that transition starts to make a big difference. And here's a level 20. So 564K and 940 units. So definitely starting to get a lot better. And here's my 25. So if you rush a level 25, what happens is you basically, rush is about 50% of what you would normally get. So I have the buff. Here we go. Boom. And here we go to fill it. So in filling a level 25, it's 560K and I get 1,400 units of Dragonite. So pre-C25, Dragonite is a mother. It's a bear. It's a pain in the ass. It's necessary to keep trying to build upon those workshops as much as possible, but understanding it's going to take a while. So there are other ways of getting equipment. Anytime there's an event that has equipment that you can win, you want to key in on that. or if you're going to be buying, there are packs. So now the purpose of upgrading your workshops obviously is to get Dragonite. So in your blacksmith under crafting, you have your options of crafting different types of materials. When you go in to craft something, obviously the materials that you're generating, there's 4 different types per type of equipment. So you want to kind of know what they are. You want to know what it takes to get up into the gold ranks of materials. And that is a completely separate video. I'm not going to cover those today. But what I wanted to point out is when you are creating, when you're creating your gear, you're going to have different levels of Dragonite requirements. Let me go into my Dreadnought, and let's go and take a look at my gold. Let's see if I have enough scrolls. So I'm going to combine. Boom, boom, boom. Nope, I can only get to orange in my scrolls. So you can see it's purple, purple, orange, orange. That's four. Let's just go down to all purple. So to do a purple saber, I would need 835 units of Dragonite. If I were to try and do gold, which I can't show you right this moment, but I will tell you it's almost 24,000 Dragonite units that you need to craft that one piece of saber in gold. And that's how you get your set. Now, if you were gambling and you wanted to gamble, you would use the saber or the helmet. And let's just see, I'm purple here. So I could gamble with the purple, but I would change these over to greens. And I would try and have, you know, as many purples as I could. Actually, that's going to be a purple. And this is going to be a green. And I would risk those to try and get more purple, because if I get more purple, I only need 4 helmets to make 1 orange. And if I were to get 16 helmets in purple, it would get me my gold helmet. So that's the way you gamble. When you are gambling and using Dragonite, and like I said, the accessory production helps you recover it, because when you go in and you're gambling, and let's say you want to deconstruct something, when you disassemble, it doesn't return any of that Dragonite that you've invested. Now, you can disassemble and get more materials at the purple level, but until you have that accessory production salvage tech in place, it doesn't give you back any Dragonite. You know, so get familiar with your materials, get familiar with your equipment. There are some good videos out there on how to gamble. I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to really understand. In the beginning, I used the blue method for gambling, and that's because I was before C25. I didn't have great workshops. I was struggling just to have Dragonite on hand and struggling to have materials on hand. So the blue method made sense. Now that I'm C25 and that I'm starting to improve my workshops, I am moving towards the purple gambling method, and I will do a separate video on just those. And in closing, the last thing I want to point out here is in your backpack, there are Dragonite. This is the main Dragonite that your workshops produce. There are fragments, and fragments are used to buy materials for the gear that you're crafting. And then there's Super Dragonite. Now, Super Dragonite is when you get into the higher level advancements and you get into the dragon gear. So at some point, you're going to have to convert to focusing on Super Dragonite. Now, inside your Alliance store, there, after Season 3, you get the ability to purchase fragments. So make sure you're picking up your fragments every day out of your Alliance store, and do that as often as possible, once a day. I'm not at a point where I'm using my Alliance store to buy Super Dragonite, but it is available, and you can get up to 8 of them per week, so it helps. You can also get war badges. You can also get, 2 different levels of Super Dragonite purchases, and of course the Courage medals if you're still on the lower level castles, still trying to complete Zone Com and etc. But the Alliance store is something to be aware of, and get your fragments. When you do get your fragments in your depot store, in your materials, in your material shop, this is where you use those fragments to buy those chests. All right, guys, well, hopefully that was helpful. I have some slides that are on Facebook that will kind of reiterate what we've talked about in this video. And let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. Like I said, I'm still learning. I don't know everything. If you have a better way of improving the Dragonite workshops, please let me know. I would like to learn how to do it better if there are better ways. So, Jay with GXP, have a great day. Bye.